The initial hype of the baseball season is gone, with collectors looking at the NBA postseason and the upcoming NFL season, which is awesome for collectors looking to find some baseball card deals. What's up, guys? It's Frank from Trove, and welcome to episode 6 of Hobby Hunters, where we help you find sports card treasure on PWCC. For this week's episode, I'm going to jump into my 3 favorite baseball cards ending on this Sunday's PWCC weekly auction and the incredible backstories behind them. To get started, let's talk some vintage baseball, which has proven to be a much more steady market than modern. And the first card I'm a big fan of is the 1954 Topps Hank Aaron rookie card. Topps released their first baseball card set in 1952, but in 1954, they were competing very heavily with Bowman, trying to get the rights to include all the top stars of the game in their product and to be able to create the best baseball cards in the entire industry. So a really cool reason why 1954 Topps is so special is the fact that it was the first time that Ted Williams was included in a Topps baseball card set. But hidden in those 1954 Topps packs was a very special card, which is the 1954 Topps Hank Aaron rookie card. Aaron had a career batting average of .305, and he hit 755 career home runs, which is the second most all time, and this is his one true rookie card. This card is super tough to find at a high grade. There's only 2 PSA 10s, none have sold since 2012, and looking at this card in the PSA 6, there's only 695 copies and 803 graded higher. 1954 Topps is also really important because of its design, as it's the first time that there's multiple photographs of a player on the card. 1952 and 53 Topps only had a portrait of the player, but in 1954, Topps continued to try to differentiate themselves from Bowman, so they decided to add an action shot on the card as well. This is a legendary card worth about $10,000 to $12,000 in this grade, and whoever gets this copy is truly going to own a piece of baseball card treasure. Next, I think it's time to talk about the most iconic baseball card of the 80s, the 1989 Upper Deck Ken Griffey rookie card. This was the height of the junk wax era. Card manufacturers were printing more cards than ever before. New card shops were popping up all across the country, and it felt like all kids loved collecting baseball cards. Looking back at the junk wax era of baseball cards, there's one iconic card that stands above the rest, which is the Ken Griffey 1989 Upper Deck Star rookie card. In 1989, Upper Deck released their first baseball card set, a premium product different than the other releases out on the market. These cards came in $1 tamper-evident packs. These were higher quality glossy cards, and the back of each card had a hologram to show that it was authentic. And a big decision that Upper Deck had to make was which player was going to be the first card in the set. It would have made sense for Greg Jeffries to headline the rookies in this product because in 1988 he played well in the Mets, while Ken Griffey Jr. never even stepped foot in the majors yet. But Tom Guidman, an 18-year-old in charge of putting together the checklist for the set, believed that Ken Griffey Jr. was the best prospect. He was able to convince the executives at Upper Deck that Griffey had the highest upside, even though it was unknown if he was going to be on the opening day roster for the Mariners, but Upper Deck finally agreed to make Ken Griffey Jr. the first card in their first baseball card set. The uniform he's wearing in the photo on the card is actually him in a San Bernardino uniform, which had to be edited. Now, 630 home runs later, it ended up being a great decision, making him card number 1. This was the height of the junk wax era, with over 87,000 copies of this card being graded by PSA, but only 4,017 of them are PSA 10s. PWCC has a beautiful PSA 10 copy of this card ending on this Sunday's weekly auction, and it's a piece of baseball card history that I don't think any collector should miss out on. And lastly, I want to talk about a modern baseball card that I love ending on auction this week. This is Freddie Freeman's 2009 Bowman Chrome X-Fractor rookie card numbered to 250 in a PSA 10. From my point of view, the best opportunity in the modern baseball card market right now is looking at superstars that sell for a fraction of the price relative to prospects who we know are going to be leading top teams in the postseason this October. He's batting over 300 right now. He's been top 10 in MVP voting each of the last 4 seasons. He's a World Series champion, and we know when the fall comes around, he's going to be a top player in the Dodgers in the biggest games of the season. With his high-end first Bowman autos rarely ever selling for over $2,000, and we see prospects selling for 5-6 figures, I think it's a really interesting thing to keep your eyes on. Freeman may not become a GOAT, but he's going to be a legend, and he continues to add to his resume every season, and it doesn't look like he's going to end his career anytime soon. So that wraps it up for today's Hobby Hunters episode. Make sure you go download the PWCC app where you can bid on all these auctions, or you can head over to the PWCC Marketplace website as well. And if you're looking to sell any of your cards, I highly recommend you check out PWCC's weekly auctions, as it's the easiest process to doing so. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you guys next week.